Trial just wrapped up. Maxwell Anderson guilty on all counts. Can you just talk to me about what's going on in your head right now?
Quite a bit. I just saw Max in the jail. Obviously, he's hanging in there. It was a tough case. It's been a long 2 weeks. I mean, there's been a lot of side issues that came up. There were innumerable things that developed during the trial and problems that came up outside of court. So I'm looking forward to getting my mind off of it for a little bit.
So you said you recently spoke with Max. What exactly did he say to you?
He's wanted to know about the sentencing process and what that looks like, and I explained it to him.
Okay, and you said there were a lot of problems that occurred outside of the courtroom. Can you just talk to me about that?
Well, sure. I mean, there were threats that were made against me over and over and over, and for the job that I was doing, and we worked hard to give our client a good defense and did everything we could.
And can you just talk to us about you taking on that job of being Maxwell Anderson's defense attorney?
Sure. Every time I represent someone, it's because a family reaches out to me and they ask me whether I would be available to represent their loved one. I meet with families, I discuss the case with them, and I take on every case with the same vigor and effort that I can do for everybody, regardless of what the circumstances are. In our system, everybody deserves a defense. Everyone's entitled to a defense, and I work hard to make sure a person gets that.
And when it came to this particular defense, do you feel like you put your best foot forward when representing Maxwell Anderson?
Yes, we did everything in our power to cross-examine every witness the state had and show where we thought the holes were in the state's case. Obviously, Max made a decision not to testify, and so we respect that decision because it's his to make, not ours.
Do you think that decision not to testify in the long run hurt him?
I don't know that it would have moved the needle one way or the other, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of problems that develop when a person takes a stand. There's a lot of unknown variables. They get cross-examined. And so I understood why he made that decision. And hindsight's always 20/20, right? You look back on things and say, could have done this, should have done that. That's human nature. But at the time, certainly that seemed like the right decision, and still does seem like the right decision in my mind, given what could have happened on the stand.
Is there any point in this case where you felt like it was lagging, or you felt like I could have done better?
No. I mean, I felt like every witness, we had a game plan on how to address them and where to attack their testimony. I mean, quite honestly, the evidence was everybody heard the evidence, right? He sat here for 2 weeks. So that's the state's case. Obviously, the jury didn't find there to be big problems with it. And you don't choose your facts. You get the facts you get the evidence you get, and then you try to work with that. So you can't change that.
But one big question I did have for you, do you believe Maxwell Anderson is guilty?
My personal feelings don't really matter, and I'm not going to answer that.
Was that ever a topic that came up when you and Max conversed?
No, we don't really focus on, I mean, our conversations are obviously private. So regardless of what we talk about, I can't get into that.
So what is next for you in this particular case, you and Max?
We'll sentencing in August, so we'll be here with him in August to try to get him through that process, and then we'll turn the matter over to an appeal lawyer.
And that's kind of what I wanted to go into, those plans of appeal. Can you just talk to me about that?
I don't do appeals, so I do some appeals, but it's not my bread and butter. It's not the focus of my practice. So we'll have a different lawyer that'll evaluate everything.
So after this, you said you're just looking forward to just getting this out of your head. Can you talk to me about the toll this has taken on you?
I mean, it's took a toll on everybody, right? I mean, I think it's everybody who's involved in this process. It takes a toll on. I don't think that the toll it took on me is any greater than anybody else who's had to work on this case, from law enforcement to certainly the victim's family. It took the biggest toll on. So I don't think my gripes probably pale in comparison to what they've been through.
What do you think the key piece of evidence was for the state in this case?
I think there were a number of key pieces of evidence, but I mean, that'd be a better question to ask the prosecutor than me.
Although I imagine you're probably not their favorite person right now, but have you been in contact with Sade's family at all?
No. But I told them in opening that my heart goes out to them, and it does. I mean, we have a job to do to defend our client to the best of our abilities, but I'm not inhuman. It's horrendous, right? I mean, it's horrendous what happened to Sade. I think everybody agrees on that, regardless of where you fall in this case. And so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to reach out to them, but obviously my heart goes out to them.
One thing I do want to ask about the witness that was brought, the tenant that stayed at Maxwell Anderson's duplex. We, as viewers, expected that to be a great witness for you guys, the defense, because he actually lived there. Did that go the way you planned?
Yeah, I thought he was a great witness for us. He didn't hear anything. There was no commotion, no struggle. So it was basically what I expected it to be. The jury didn't find that to be particularly persuasive or impactful, though.
What do you think your strongest point was in this case?
I don't know. I mean, you have to look at each individual witness and identify flaws with what they did. I mean, I thought there was a lack of DNA. I thought there was a huge point, a lack of being able to say how she died. You know, what were the circumstances? How was it intentional? What did Max, if it was intentional, what was the means by which he did it? How did he do it? Where did he do it? And to me, there's just those unanswered questions. Obviously, the jury didn't see it that way, and maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too much putting my lawyer hat on and just saying, you know, you're supposed to look at it as the letter of the law, but you are. And, you know, there's, in my mind, doubts about how the heck it happened. You know, the state throws out theories, was she was strangled, she was stabbed, or some other means, but we don't know. And I don't know how you can get from, you know, innocence to guilt unless you've got that sort of smoking gun evidence that says this is how it happened. And the medical examiner doesn't know.
And since there was not that quote-unquote smoking gun, did you expect a guilty verdict today?
My expectation was, you know, I could see the jury convicting on some of these counts based on, if you look at it individually and look at each count, I could understand that. I thought in the intentional homicide there were glaring holes in the state's case. Obviously I was wrong. Jury didn't see it that way. That's what juries are for. It's their job to look at it and